Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's good? What's good in the hood? We are rocking with the Reparations Month and the Real Reparations Movement. All right. This is part 13. We're coming to the end. We got 2 more to go. And we're going to get right into it, man. You rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. Let's get it. You're rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. Part number 13, all right, of the reparations, the real reparations movement. All right. You're gonna get it in. And yeah, let's roll this video. My main man Marcel. Let's get it, man. Let's roll it. Let's roll it.
All snaps. Mr. Greg Marcel.
Look at my racks, feel like Serena went from the backs. Pull like John, waves on interactions with the tech.
DC, where are you?
50 bucks,
FC, where are you? Alright. All my people, give yourselves a round of applause for being here today. So we here, but we ain't arrived. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. Let me read these statistics to you. Between 1910 to 1997, we have had stolen 16 to 19 million acres. We are now left down to 10% and dwindling, okay? 19% of black families have a negative net worth. That's 3.5 million black families that are so impoverished that even if you were to give them money, it will not bring them out of poverty. It will just be to try to get them out the hole. An additional 4.5 million black families have less than $10,000 a year in disposable income, okay? Right now, as we speak, COVID-19 came along and wiped out 50% of black businesses. But before COVID-19, we were slated as a community to head to zero wealth. COVID has come along and accelerated that. So, when you look at this data, I ask, where are our allies? I mean, I'm sure some of them are here, but where are they? And then I ask, where are our leaders? I don't know where they are, but I know where they should be, and they should be right here with us. Exactly. And then you look at these politicians with their 6-figure salaries. Now, the Republicans, okay, they suck. I don't know who's responsible for them keeping their job, but I know who's responsible for the Democrats, and I call them Democrats because they feed off of us while doing nothing for us. That's right. Guess who's responsible for them keeping their jobs? We are. For the past 60 years, the Democrats have existed off of the black vote. They will not exist without us. And yet we are heading to the point of economic and political extinction because of them. Now, when these issues are brought up, they come to us with excuses. When we say reparations is owed to descendants of American slaves, the people whose ancestors were promised but never received their 40 acres and a mule, they start what Tariq Nasheed says, splaining. They start to say, well, you know, we can't do any policies for you based on race. That's one excuse they like to say. Don't fall for it. Reparations is not done based on race. Reparations is done based on lineage and political status. Now let me give you some examples. The Catawba Native Americans in South Carolina, a tribe that was formerly enslavers, they just received 20 acres of land. 911 families, people who are family members, descendants of those killed during the 9/11 attacks, they get resources from the government. Illegal immigrants, right now as we speak, receive billions of dollars from the government to clothe and feed for them. One estimate says they spend as much as $8 million a day feeding and clothing illegal immigrants. Ukrainians have received $60 billion, and as of yesterday, they've given them another $400 million. So when they tell us they can't do anything specific for us, do not fall for it. They do things specifically for everyone else, and right now, as we speak, they're making more promises to other groups. If you have a child, and your child decides that he or she wants to be a she or a he, the Democrats are saying, hey, we can do that. Right now, our country has taken in over 5 million illegal immigrants since the start of this administration. That's putting a strain on resources on the state level, the municipal level, and the federal level. But the Democrats will say, hey, that's good, we can take them too. The Democrats will say that abortion is a black issue, that there should be nothing more important to us than aborting our beautiful black children. Exactly. And they have sworn to protect women's rights. But who the hell is protecting FBA's rights?
That's right.
Exactly. They say they can't do anything specific for us, but this nation has done specific policies against us for centuries, okay? Chattel slavery was done specifically to us on the municipal level, the state level, but even the federal level. The Fugitive Slave Act, the Dred Scott decision, okay? After slavery, we had Jim Crow, we had redlining. When slavery ended, we were not just freed, but as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, we was freed to hunger and famine and terrorism. Our black Wall Streets that we managed to build from nothing burnt to the ground. Now, I was in a conversation with someone who is from Haiti, and I love Haiti, a beautiful country. I visited there, and I have nothing against Haiti. But he was talking about how his parents, grandparents came here, and from nothing, they were able to achieve a middle-class life. And I said to him, should I be impressed? My people from nothing built not just one, not just two, not just 3, 4, 5, but over 50 black Wall Streets. I've never seen any other group do that. Give it up for our people. Give it up for our people. Give it up for our people.
Yeah.
So, this country, again, has done policies specifically against us. But when it's time for them to repair the specific wrongs they've done to us, now they want to tell us they don't see color. Now they want to tell us that we're all human beings. I don't give a damn what you see or don't see, but I know what I see. I see my people suffering every single day, and I'm sick of it. Sick of it. Now, I want to address some things here. We do have an issue in our community with people believing that the answer lies in us building an economic base. And who can argue against that? We do need to build the economic base. I support black businesses. I support group economics. But don't let anyone tell you that the government is not the answer, okay? When white America was filled with poverty and homelessness, do you know what this government did? In 1861, Abraham Lincoln signed the Homestead Act. They gave away almost 300 million acres of land to European immigrants to white Americans, some who were former Confederates that fought against the nation. They gave them land while giving black Americans nothing but poverty, okay? $10 trillion given primarily to white Americans. When World War I ended and millions of veterans returned from overseas, there were plenty of white veterans that were impoverished and on the streets. When World War II started, the president at that time, Roosevelt, said, we cannot have a repeat of that. So do you know what they did? The GI Bill that gave over $2 trillion to roughly 16 million white Americans, allowing them to become homeowners, allowing them to go to school, allowing them to get a pension. They did the Social Security Act. They did the Labor Union Act. There is no group in this country that has ever gotten the wealth they've had because they simply pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. Okay? Don't let them tell you they have. No. Japanese Americans are one of the richest demographics in our nation. They got reparations. Chinese Americans, when they first started coming here en masse, they came to finish the railroads that our people had already largely built. Remember that. But not only they were paid for their labor, but not only were they paid for their labor, they were giving land, which today are the Chinatowns. So, at that same time, we were getting land taken from us. The number one cause of lynch mobs was not false accusations against a black man, it was black land theft, okay? Always remember that. So when someone comes to us and they say the government is not the answer, tell them to shut their damn mouths, okay? The government is the answer. And when it comes to descendants of American slaves, freemen, which is our congressional term, or foundational black American, which is a social term, when it comes to us, now the government better be the answer because they sure as hell have been the problem. Now, we cannot and we will not accept any excuses from any politician. The Democrats will have you believe that if you vote for the Republicans, because I'm not a fan of either one, that our hope of reparations is never going to happen. Well, I say for the past 60 years, we've been voting for the Democrats. Y'all seen reparations happen yet? Okay. The answer is not to feel enslaved to any party. The answer is not to feel beholden to any party. The answer is to feel beholden to policy. Okay? Say it with me. Policy always, party never. Say it with me. Policy always, party never. Now, when we go to the Democrats and we say, hey, our people are suffering, our people are hurting, they don't like to say, well, what about the Republicans? You ask the Republicans? That was really interesting to me. You tell us the Republicans are bad. We believe you. You tell us that the Republicans won't do anything for us, and we believe you. And then we vote for you. But then we go to you to hold you accountable for our votes. You say to us, why don't you go to the Republicans? Because you just told us not to. If I go to McDonald's and I get a Big Mac, and my Big Mac is undercooked, what the hell I look like going across the street to Burger King? You see, the party that gets the vote is the party that gets the smoke. Remember that. Now. You see, you're not going to have it both ways. You're not going to have it both ways where you get the vote, but you don't want to get the accountability. Okay? Also, let's deal with another lie. I heard Tariq and I heard a few people up here shut down some myths and rebuttals against reparations. But there's one that people like to say, well, we can't afford that. Let me explain something to you. If you borrow $50 from me and you say you're going to pay me next week, and I come to you to get my $50, is it my responsibility to figure out how you are going to pay? No. That's your problem. Okay? But the good news is, the United States of America is what we call a monetary sovereign, meaning they can generate as much currency as they need. Don't ever believe this government has no money. The America can never run out of money. The only thing that limits what America can spend is inflation. But even with that, check this out. People like to say if you put too much money into the economy, you'll cause hyperinflation. That is historically inaccurate. I'm going to give y'all 3 examples of when this government has spent the most money. Number 1, the New Deal. Roosevelt spent trillions of dollars to provide jobs for struggling Americans, to avert homelessness. And guess what it did? It saved the American economy and brought us out of the Great Depression. Number 2, when President Obama got in office and we was going through the Great Recession, this government spent $29 trillion to bring our economy from the brink of another depression. Number 3, this was more recent, when the COVID-19 came, Donald Trump spent over $3 trillion. You know what I didn't hear anyone say? No one asked, what about the debt? No one asked what about the debt when this country was sending stimulus checks, not to descendants of American slaves, but to every single person. No one asked about the debt when this country sent trillions of dollars to businesses so they continue paying their employees. No one asked about the debt when this country doubled unemployment from 300 a week to 600 a week. No one asks about the debt when this country was spending trillions of dollars to not just develop the vaccines, but study and to distribute them. No one asks about the debt when this country bailed out the banking industry, the home industry, okay? No one asks about the debt when this country canceled hundreds of billions of dollars after World War I and World War II. This country has canceled debt before, but we ain't canceling ours. So before I wrap up, let me say to you, I understand no tangibles, no vote. I get that. I agree with that. But that's not enough. In order to get the tangibles, we have to run for office and be the candidates that's offering the tangibles. Okay? In order to get the candidate with tangibles in office, we have to support the candidate that's offering tangibles. And let me tell you, I have a message for someone. And Jerry, please let me get this message out to this particular person. Roland Martin. I don't need to know for this one. Roland Martin, Bakari Sellers, Torre, all of them. They like to speak condescendingly to us when we say we deserve lineage-based reparations and policies. They like to say, y'all don't know how the government works. I say to them, we don't need to know how the government works in order to see that it ain't working for us, okay? The second person, Tommy Tuberville, a senator from Alabama who said that criminals want reparations. Excuse me? Criminals? The only criminal is a government that owes money and inheritance to its citizens and refuses to pay. And you're the criminal for running on a platform that supports it. Last but not least, Hillary Fordwich, a commentator for the British Family. When Don Lemon, who sat there like a coward, asked her about reparations, she said to him that we need to start with Africa. Hold on, Africa? If you want us to start with Africa, then those of us who are African ancestry, you would have left us in Africa, okay? The moment you bought captive slaves from the continent of Africa, you took on the debt. It is the continent of Africa that received over 50,000 adventures between 1870 and 1940. It ain't the continent of Africa that when slavery ended, received over $42 trillion from black labor. It ain't the continent of Africa that poisoned our women, raped our people, fed our babies to alligators, imported our drugs into our community. It ain't the continent of Africa that we can go to Africa, we can go to Europe, but it ain't the continent of Africa to whom we belong. We already have a nation, and we're going to start right damn here, okay? It is this country. It is this country that owes us. It is this country that enslaved us. It is this country that has benefited from us. And damn it, it's this country that's going to pay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. It's Marcel Dixon, man. He broke down a lot of stuff, broke down a lot of information. Y'all make sure y'all go rewind this back and listen to what he was saying, take notes. Just to hit on a few little points he was talking about. He talked about the 1861 Homestead Act, all right, where they gave 300 million acres to European immigrants and white Americans, all right, whenever they was down and out and downtrodden. They just came up with this money, gave it to them. We had like 50 or more Black Wall Streets that were built. And each time they were built, this government, the American government, found some way to trash it and tear it down, right? So that all makes you think about all the reparations owed, okay? So also, he was talking about how certain groups still continue to get money to this day. And even Connie Collins even mentioned that earlier in one of the earlier parts, right? So he talked about the 9/11 victims, the one when the planes hit the World Trade Center, the victims, the family of those victims received benefits. All right. We're talking about the Ukrainians getting billions of dollars, and then more recently, 400 million was added to it. Afghan people got something. Remember when Biden said he was going to put out 500 million to the Afghan people? Then you got Hispanics allowed to come across the border. Now they throwing a little smoke screen trying to say they changing the immigrant policy, you know, coming over the border and stuff like that. And you have the situations going on in Chicago where I guess the Venezuelans just coming over there, and I guess because it's starting to get cold now, the cold weather, that now they having to change of plans to go somewhere else. And you have that mayor in Chicago who's just being a bootlick when it boils down to it. He's not going to try to go the Eric Adams route because he'll know Biden will spank that behind, right? And so then, you know, Biden will sick the FBI on him, just like they did Eric Adams. And so many groups, there's an Indian tribe or more that when their kids graduate from high school, I believe, they automatically get $100,000 every time they graduate. Some new kid graduates from school, the so-called American Indian, right? So everybody's constantly getting benefits. When it comes to us, they got to shuck and jive, tap dance, do the spin, do the moonwalk, come up with these old nonsense symbolic stuff. I'm gonna put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill and stuff like that. A bunch of nonsense, right? So he broke down that. Also, what's very important for those who plan on voting, instead of just frivolously voting for people just because they're the Democratic Party, it's more important to vote on the policy over party. That's something else he mentioned, policy over party, right? So that's very important. You need to start looking into all these people that are running for president and all these other positions they're running for. What are their policies? What are their track records when it comes to foundational Black Americans? If you're a Black American, what has been these people's policies that you plan on voting for? What they plan on doing for you? The tangibles. What they're going to give you for your vote? Are they going to, or when you vote for them, are they going to give you Ukrainians to live in your neighborhood, and they're going to give Ukrainians $400 million for your vote, for you voting for the Democrats? If you vote for the Democrats, are they going to give the Afghans 500 million? If you vote for the Democrats, whether it's for president, mayor, governor, so on and so forth, if you vote for any of these Democrats, whatever positions they're running for, what's going to be the return for you? What you going to get in return? That's what you should be voting for. No longer this, even if it's somebody Black, just because they Black, what is their policies? What do they stand 10 toes down on? You know, did they fold like this Brandon Johnson dude and Derek Johnson of the NAACP? Are these type of black people you gonna vote for that just fold and just do the yes sir, yes massa? They go by the script, right? So even voting for black people, and then you got to understand what type of black people you voting for. Are some of them black Americans? Are they other black immigrants? Because a lot of the Congressional Black Caucus members, most of them aren't black American, if not any of them. And they're not standing up and doing nothing for anybody, for no black Americans. So when somebody's black, you thinking, oh, I'm gonna vote for them because they black. What is their background? You know, what did they stand on that helped black Americans? All right. I posed a question. You guys can check it out on this channel where I said, who did more for black Americans? Moses West or Cornel West? I get ready to say Kanye. Moses West or Cornel West? Which one of them did something for black Americans, right? So yeah, it's real important, man. It's real important. All right. So yeah, this is the Real Reparations Movement, part 13. We got 2 more to go. All right. So I hope y'all been taking notes. If not, go back and look at these episodes and go back and take notes, man. All right. Get involved. See where you can fit in to make this reparations a real thing. You got a lot of information now that you can build on working on seeing how you can help in getting this reparations for foundational black Americans. All right. So you know what it is, man. We appreciate y'all. Got 2 more to go. You're rocking with the best. Thoughts of the Week podcast. And we'll be back with the next one. Peace. You're rocking with the best. Thoughts of the Week podcast.